Hey everybody, it's Lee and this is Let Us Say It For You.
And it's Big Mike.
And we have a guest again.
Yo.
He's a fan favorite, Haitian Poppy.
There you go.
It's your boy Carlem. How you guys doing?
Oh, he sounds sexy, y'all. Carlem, are you single?
That's Vidania. Anastasia.
Okay, cool. Well,
okay. So I don't understand black soldiers, but
Yeah,
I think that's basically what I'm saying.
I don't get that.
I don't understand black soldiers.
Expound.
I've never understood
Please.
black soldiers. You're fighting for a country who don't really fuck with you, like on every level. And even in the army, they have discriminatory like things happening to them. Like they put them on the front lines. Civil War too, when the black people was actually fighting North and South.
Yeah.
They put us first. The fuck, like. Y'all got years of training. Yeah, let's throw the blacks in there. You know, the British was like, we don't have a problem with y'all. The French, I think, even said that too. Hey, this ain't your fight. We're not here for you. Like, we good. I'm telling you, come on our side. We'll give you benefits. Go on their side, they're gonna kill you, and then when you win the war, they still gonna treat you like shit. Like, this ain't your war. It's still the case. It's not your fucking war. But
it's still that today.
It's still that today. I just don't understand. And I get people, and I know that sometimes like the Navy, the Army, it's like a escape for some people who feel like they just don't know what they want to do.
Yeah, they don't want to go to school. They don't want to be a bum.
Right. They want to serve to a cause greater than themselves, and they believe in America or what it could be, and
so
that's cool. But
someone's saying that the fights, when blacks do that, they fight for their families. They don't fight for the country. Like, they probably don't give a fuck about America, but it doesn't mean I don't have a kid and six
in Iraq.
wife and 6 kids here.
So you have a wife and 6 kids. You left to fight.
7.
So you left to fight for your family that may not be directly affected by anything that happens in a war, because it's mostly about oil and bullshit, to be honest. Like, I'm fighting because I want this, so you wouldn't give it to me.
Right.
It's childish in a sense.
One thing I always say when it comes to that, I wholeheartedly agree with all that, but what we as Americans are privileged enough to never have to experience is somebody just dropping a bomb in the middle of our fucking living room because we're America and everybody's afraid of us and we're big bad states and we got allies and so on and so forth. So the point is, somebody has to create that fear for everybody else to leave us the fuck alone. So someone has to be able to do that, and it's the people that sign up to do it. So while it is like it's so dumb to do it, they're doing jobs that I wouldn't do. I'm not leaving here for shit, but it's like I wouldn't question why they choose to do it. I'm happy that they do it because I'm not doing it. I'm not going. I'm not leaving my kids. So it's that, but you imagine how difficult that has to be to decide. It's like, to me, it's almost like every time I manage something, and it's nowhere on the same scale, but the same general idea. If I manage something, if I'm bitching that because somebody else wants to do it and it's stupid to do it, the job still needs to get done some way, somehow. So I'm going to have to pick up the slack.
Right.
So they're picking up the slacks for the 3 of us alone that decided we ain't going to the fucking Army. True. Or the Navy or the wherever the fuck else.
Yeah, I guess
we're not doing it.
Say the same shit about a janitor. I'm not picking up trash.
There you go. It's someone has to do it.
And I, like I said, like I totally understand that. No shade. Like I appreciate everybody.
Yeah,
I got hella friends in the Navy. I got hella friends that have gone to the Army. People I went to high school with, like, mad respect. It's just the psyche behind it and the understanding. That's the only place that I'm at. Like, I really feel like it may be something psychologically deeper to why you feel like you have to protect and serve.
But baby, it's not. Like I know some people that go just because they make good money.
They want a Camaro.
And that's even
they want a Camaro.
And my thing, that's worse.
Yeah,
that's better.
Yeah, because they go and they work in the kitchen. I know people who go and sign up. We know somebody who didn't.
No, yeah, I know hella people who go there.
She wasn't in the front lines and whatever. She was cooking.
Yeah.
And sis got all the same money, or maybe probably less. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Sis was straight, taken care of, and got an education for free, and just had to be in the reserves. And even when she comes out of the reserves, it's not you out of the reserves and you get thrown in war. I think you come back out of reserves and you still go back to cooking if that's what you were doing.
Right.
So in some cases, I mean, it's
that's just my point of view on it. Like I said, hella respect to all the people who do it. Yeah. I just question the black people who do it. That's all. Other than stating the obvious, you want a better life, you want more money, you blah blah blah. But fighting for
so you're questioning the ones who's like, I'm American and I'm
proud.
I think
it's in general. That's what I'm saying. Just in general, like what got you to that mind, like that thought process? Because you're really not respected here. And so
maybe they don't. Maybe they're not as in. Maybe they're not on the more woke side than we would be. Whereas the more and more I learn about America, the more I dislike the place. Like the more you're just surprised at how we're treated and I'm 29 and I'm learning more and more now. So if they signing up for the war and they're a proud soldier at the age of 23,
but most
they may not even care about that.
Most people I know go for the benefits. They don't go because they care about America.
But then you answered your question. Then that's what it is. It's not. There's no psyche in it. They go for the benefits.
But it's both ways. That's what I'm saying. It's hella people that go for different reasons. But my thing in general is most people that do go to fight for a cause greater than self, they're not fighting for a cause greater than self. They're fighting for money. And like you said, the
Camaro,
the family who, the guy who leaves to protect his family of 7.
How is he doing
How is
that,
he
though,
directly protecting his family if he's leaving?
Maybe he's. I mean,
I get it.
Yeah, the more babies they have, the more money they get. They get a nice ass house.
But you're not. You're absent.
My thing with it, where I agree with Micah,
yeah,
is because when I was younger, there was a point where I tried to get in. Yeah. And it was strictly for
the
money,
Camaro.
Right? But my thing is with the whole where I don't, because I have friends on both sides. I have friends that's in it for the Camaro, and then I have friends that's like die hard. We're bleeding this. Mm-hmm. The wars, I don't even agree with the wars. Right? Iraq,
all them shit. Right.
There was never nothing there, so they really went there for no reason.
Yeah.
You went to Afghanistan. I think there's a CIA report that came out the other day or something like that.
Everything is probably redacted.
They didn't have nothing to do. Al Qaeda didn't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Even if they did, it's one building. You go to a whole country
and stay there for quite some time.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the wars. It's a toss up. What are we really fighting for?
Do you think oil? It's a way to for oil? So do you think it's also a way for us to exert our dominance, if you will? Like, we're America and we can just pop up on your shit and sit here as long as we want to, because they want us to leave. Like, apparently that's part of the reason why ISIS or one of them popped up, because they're sick of us being in their country, like, not doing shit. We ain't really fixing shit. We just kind of there patrolling the streets for no reason. So I feel like it's almost kind of like a power play.
It is.
Yeah, we're here.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we're
all
everywhere.
over the world. We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. And so we're here making sure you don't come see us there, So we're going to just walk up and do your shit and sit there. So maybe that's just it, because you're right. Ain't shit. We ain't, other than oil. And if anything, I'd rather you just say that instead of bullshitting.
See, that's one thing I used to like about Trump back then, because he said something like, he's like, if we're gonna go into somebody's country, then we should get something out of it, right? So some might not agree, but just be upfront. Listen, Iraq has all the oil. If we go there, you guys over here are gonna start paying 25 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some people that's still screaming peace, and then you have those like, I'm not really feeling $5 right now. So
right.
Y'all go ahead and do what y'all gotta do.
Right.
But my whole thing is and I see it as a truck driver. I see it a lot on the road, because we have a lot of it's very diverse.
How much does it cost to fill up the truck?
Like $600.
You're a liar.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Get off the mic.
2 days. So
for 2 days.
Yeah. Jeez. So what I see a lot of times is like, all right, you'll have a lot of rednecks, and when it comes to certain conversations, let's just say, like, they're talking about, because you have a lot of Arab drivers, you have a lot of Mexican drivers. So whenever they talk, if we're in a room, whenever they're talking about the Arab drivers, they're gonna try to bring the black people in as we're all Americans.
Bring on our side.
Right? And then you have some idiots that's gonna join them. I'm sitting back, I'm like, okay, so if there was no black people in this room,
what the fuck would y'all be saying?
You gotta be talking about us.
You already know.
So it's the same thing with the army thing, to where it's like, you're gonna preach we're all American, go fight, but when I get back, are we all one for real?
No, look at the vets. Look at how the vets are treated. Vets are treated like shit.
We're not.
Yeah, vets are treated poorly.
People are casualties. I'm just
it would
using
have been
you for
nice.
what you are.
I'd be all for, like, the nationalists, however you call it. But when I get back,
am I going
that
to be
same
treated
energy.
like a nationalist? Right.
You know, I'm your brother over there.
Over there, am I
need
still
to be your
that
brother
here?
over here?
And you probably only get that from people that you were directly in whatever with, like, you know, hoo-ha, whatever you were directly in the force with. But everybody else, it's probably just bullshit. I mean, that's something that I always heard Charlemagne say. He was just always like, we care so much about our vets. When the whole kneeling thing was happening, we care so much about our vets. And Kaepernick is disrespecting them, but we treat our vets like shit. Like, a lot of them homeless people are vets.
I'm saying they don't get benefits.
Yeah, they get like nothing. They should never have to
pay.
pay taxes. They should be put up somewhere. None of this shit happens.
Which leads
I don't
me
understand
to my point of
why are we doing it?
Why? Like, I know, like, the...
What do you have to be? Like a Purple Heart
green,
something to get treated well?
I totally get it.
That don't matter either?
Everybody is chasing the dollar. Like, I totally understand. Like, you want a better life. You want to be privileged. You was probably poor growing up. Like, you want to change your outlook. You want to change... I don't even think you're thinking about generational wealth. You just don't want to be broke no more. You know what I'm saying? And, like, low-key, the easiest thing to do is join the Army, the Navy, the whatever, because... in return, you get benefits. In return, you get money. In return, you get security for the time being. But when you get back home, what happens?
You get treated
Most
like
people get treated like crap, and you don't have no skills because the only skills is rifling somebody, and it's like, sorry, sir, we don't really
that
need
benefit
anyone to, you know, be
rifle.
a sniper.
Yeah.
Thank you for your application. Like, I think it's just effed up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just like, it's honestly, y'all, epiphany. It's like when felons leave jail.
Oh.
What do you, you can't do anything. You can't get a job. You don't have any skills.
It makes no sense.
Like, how is it equivalent? I was someone in my army who was a front line. I did what I had to do. I became a general. I got all these stars, blah, blah, blah. I get home and I'm basically treated like a felon. I can't get a job. I can't get what? Where are my benefits?
You can't get loans.
I served this country. Like, I gave 20 years of my life to protect my family.
Because you got to be like in the reserves and shit for a while after sometimes.
Like, what? And it depends on your ranking. Like, then you got to factor that into it. Like, if you weren't a certain rank, you don't get certain benefits. So it's like totem pole, like, all over again, a classist system. Like, that sucks. I just want to know why. That's all. I just, past that, I feel like we need to start thinking deeper about the choices that we're making in our lives. And yes, someone has to do it. So, Leah, I fully agree with you that someone has to do it.
That's a question for
because
you guys.
I'm not.
For anybody here in the States that's in any of our armed forces, Navy, Marines, whichever, anything you guys have, please tell us what your reasoning for it. White or black? Let's go that way. But Michael really wants to understand the black, and I guess I do
me
too.
too.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah, the blacks. We really want to know what you're doing it for, you know. And then maybe people from other countries, because I mean, like, no, I mean, it's different then. Because if you're in the army in Jamaica, you defending Jamaica, and you from Jamaica, and you riding out with your country, and it's not nearly as fucked up as it is here. So I can definitely understand the pride of defending Jamaica, the pride of defending Haiti, the pride of defending
pride behind it,
Puerto Rico, wherever you're from. But when you hear, it's like, what is it?
Where's your pride?
Where's your pride here?
I don't. And although, like, I go in about not necessarily really wanting to be American, I mean, I'm American, and slaves built this country. Slaves built the country. Like, we invented a lot of things that we use today. Stoplight for one, people run those, but still, we invented them. So,
and then that's how they end up in jail.
And peanut butter. Peanut butter is, thank you, George Washington Carver. We helped you with peanut butter, bro. You've been helping poor children all across the country. But my thing is just, I just want to know why. And I just want to know, are you thinking about every possible outcome once you sign over those papers? Like, are you thinking about everything that you've heard about joining the Army, joining the Navy, like not getting benefits? People end up homeless. Veterans who have no legs just end up with no, like, it's just sad, bro. Like, you're basically treated like somebody who went to jail and did a crime and came out, and you can't get a job. Because you don't have any skills. And it's not your fault that you don't have any skills. Some people choose to go to school and they choose to get their education paid for, but a lot of them don't. So
let's talk about the prison system.
Prison system.
Right. That one. Because I think I learned more about it the older I got, and I was like, it can't really be as fucked up as y'all are telling me it is. And then now I feel like it is really as fucked up as it is.
Or
Like
prison?
like the whole prison system, the whole process of like free slavery,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
Did you see the 13th Amendment on Netflix?
Yes, I did. I think that's what I saw, and I was like, my God. Oh.
Yeah. If y'all haven't checked out the 13th Amendment on Netflix, I'm not sure if it's still on there. Shout out to Netflix for even having it on there.
Yeah.
It talks about the prison system, and it's the new age slavery, and it's always been that way.
Yeah.
Always. And they build a new prison faster than they build a school. What does that tell you? They're not trying to educate. They're not trying to educate minority, brown, tan children. They're trying to incriminate them and put them in jail. Period. Like,
Facts.
how many schools are struggling in your county? How many schools are shutting down daily? The moment one shuts down, 2 more jails are built.
Yeah.
Flint still don't have water.
And bruh, like what?
I'm
And
from
like
Michigan.
the
So
books,
that's
like
a
there's
lot.
no books. There's not good enough books. Like books are ripping. Why do we still have books in the first place if they keep being tarnished?
If they're trash.
You know what I'm saying? Like
If they're trash.
it's just so
So,
many questions.
if you guys haven't seen it's called the 13th Amendment.
13th
right?
Amendment
If you
on
haven't seen
Netflix.
that on Netflix, if it's still up, please give it a watch because it'll really, it's like mind blowing, right? Like apparently, like America, we have like a crazy inflated number of people in prison compared to like everywhere else.
Right.
And then like most of them are black. I'm sorry, like the
Yeah.
blacks take the cake, and we don't want to win this award.
And you know what somebody told me too?
Got Hennessy in the way. Sorry, y'all.
Even and this was somebody that was in the prison system. And what he was telling me as far as the
Like an
stats,
inmate prison system or work there or something.
actually I've heard it from both.
Okay.
And as far as the stats, where the whites, whatever percentage,
Y'all been saying that y'all the white.
yeah, whatever percentage they say that's white, it's actually much less because they throw a lot of Hispanics in there
Right.
to boost up the whites.
I see
Right.
what you're saying, Carlem.
Right. But they identify as white.
Yeah.
That's another conversation.
And that
So,
Get it in.
but
Yeah.
the prison system is crazy, man. The fact that they call them camps, some of them they call
Yeah.
them camps. I'm like,
ain't nothing camp about this,
like
bitch.
it just
Right.
reminds me of that Eddie Murphy movie.
Which one?
You gotta elaborate.
when he was locked up.
Oh, like
Oh, Life?
Yeah,
him and
With
Martin.
Martin Lawrence?
yeah.
Yeah.
Live,
But
live.
it's all about money because
Life,
it doesn't make any
life.
sense.
Okay, cool. So since it's all about money, we need to replace how much money we was making on the biggest economy boost we've ever had, which was slavery.
Yeah,
Nothing has ever touched slavery since slavery. How do we keep that going? Prison.
Lock him up for
Pretty
stupid
much.
shit.
Prison. Like, bro, like,
it's not to rehabilitate.
definitely
Right,
not.
and that's what
At
I'm saying
all.
because they call the camps some rehabilitation centers. I mean, or
No.
they try to imply that that's what takes
They
place
teach
there.
them trades,
Yeah,
maybe.
true, right. And if they care to get a degree, if that's even like offered at some, because I don't
Yeah.
think it's offered everywhere.
Nope.
Then you have that, but it's like, I mean, I don't know. If you hear the story of just what people go through in prison, I don't understand how that is supposed to make them a better person. If you skate through and somehow don't get traumatized like shit from being there,
Right.
it's like, and then how many stories have you heard of people that have been in prison their whole life and then they get out and they were just like,
I'd rather
I want to
go
go back. Like, I'd
Yeah.
rather be locked the fuck up because I
okay.
don't understand this.
Which takes me back to structure. People crave structure just like children. Children act out when they don't have structure. This is not something I'm just saying. This is scientifically proven. You
Right.
get a child, 2 children. You get a child
Both your
who
daughters.
never gets told no.
Both
who
your daughters, 2 children.
never gets told no. One child never gets told no. They can do everything they want to do always. Nobody's
baby.
never on their ass, right?
Right.
Then you get another child who literally is told when to eat, told when to sleep, told when it's time to do art, told when it's to get up, go outside, playing. Those kids behave better than the child that gets to do whatever they want because they're craving some sense of structure because they don't have any. I don't know what to do with myself, so I'm gonna jump off this stupid ass table because I don't know what to do with myself. I have too much energy pent in, and that's the same thing that goes with human
Idle
beings.
hands. They say that idle hands are the devil's playground.
Exactly. So
that
you,
could be
like
a good
people,
metaphor for that.
like, come on, bro. Like you sit somebody at a desk and you say, all right, I'll be back in 20 minutes or I'll be back in an hour. What do you think that person is gonna do without any instruction, other than go on Instagram for a whole hour? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know, if you take the phone out of the equation, are they gonna do something productive? I don't know. I don't know if they will.
Right.
But if you tell them, hey, you have an hour, we have this report to do, we have this report, they get it done in 30 minutes, you can do whatever you want in that 30 minutes. They'll probably feel a sigh of relief. Whew, I thought I was going to be sitting here doing nothing. Like, it's something about structure that fuels people positively forward. You know what I'm saying?
So but then doesn't prison have some form of structure?
That's why they want to go back. Oh, somebody tells me when to eat. Somebody tells me I have an hour to go outside. Somebody tells me when to go to sleep. Because when I was out in the world, what was I doing?
So
I had no structure.
Okay, good question then. And I'm a little naive on this, but explain. So there's like free labor. Does everyone in prison do something? Do they all have to like make license plates and all this other type of shit? Like, because why is it free labor? What do they do?
I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying. Because how is it free labor everywhere? If I just got, or is it one of those things where? Because there are things where once we have a head in this bed, I automatically get $10,000 a year for this person.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So it's like they ain't really got to do shit but waste their life away. Right. But every warm bed I have is an extra $50K.
Right.
So we can lock this nigga up because he's smoking weed.
Yeah, and the longer we keep him, the more money we get.
The more money we get. So it's okay. I can't understand.
So my thing is, I don't know if you ever watched Orange is the New Black. It's about women incarcerated.
I saw a couple episodes, but
it's so good, guys. I hate y'all. But the thing about it is they have jobs in jail. Now I'm not sure if this is how it really goes, but they have electricians. They have people who want to pick up different types of trades. So it's like they teach them. They break a radio and then they put it back together. And they get paid 10 cents per blah, blah, blah. Then they have people actually making underwear for Victoria's Secret. Like, they have different things. Yeah, like, they had a whole factory where they were, like, making lingerie. That's wild. And they were getting the most because it's sewing. It takes more time. So let's just say they got $1 an hour or whatever. And then they started stealing the panties because they can sell it more for the commissary situation. So it's like, if I can swindle this out to the public, I can get $50 instead of 10. So it's like, I'm not sure how the job's working there, but I do know there's different stations for different people, and they put you don't get to choose. Like, we're gonna put you in the field and make you pick rocks and move boulders for 5 cents for whatever. Wow. So I'm not sure how it goes. I don't even think they get jobs, to be completely honest, because if you only get an hour outside, and correct me if I'm being naive about this, I don't know the prison system, I don't know the in and outs of jail, but if you have 23-hour lockdown, what are you doing in 23 hours? Are they just looking at each other? Like the solitary stuff? Yeah, like just being in jail. You can only be outside
that's inhumane.
That is inhumane. Like, what do you do other than that hour?
Have some people they'll tell you they've been in solitary for like a year.
Y'all didn't see Meek Mill? Did y'all see Meek Mill's thing?
No.
Oh my God.
The Central Park 5, the older one that was put in there for a million fucking days. He was in solitary for like most of his last stint,
bruh. So
and he was losing his fucking mind.
Meek Mill, his last time going back into jail, he got put into the mental health side of jail, where niggas is literally taking the shit and throwing it at the wall and screaming all night. Like, these people have psychological issues. Like, he's in a mental,
and no human contact drives people bonkers.
And he was by himself in a mental. Oh my! Like, literally, he said that was probably the worst. And this is when when Jay-Z got involved, they were trying to pill everything.
Right,
bruh. He was innocent since he was 19. Yeah. That shit blew my mind, bro. Like,
well, that's like the guy that was locked up and he got abused and he killed himself when he came out.
Right.
And then his mom died like a year to his anniversary. I couldn't watch it because Jay-Z did the documentary on that, and I couldn't watch it because it was just like, I can't.
Yeah, like, it's just crazy what happens in there. And then Meek talks about it very calmly. Like, he's still very, he was hooked on Percocets. Like, he talks about all of that. I didn't even know. He was addicted to drugs for a point in time. But it's just the
how
thing.
He got hooked. He explained it.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things where you get lost and you don't know who you are and all these things. Like, how do you expect people to really function once you get out? And he kept going in and out maybe a year, okay, 3 months, okay, 4 months, okay, 6 months. Like his judge was playing with him basically. Like
the same lady he don't like, or just
it
like
was
way back
disgusting. No, the judge that he's
that
had
judge.
for his 11-year probation. That is the longest
know how she still
probation
have a job.
sentence in history.
I mean, was that that's not the black,
the black
one.
That
woman,
was the
yes.
black one, yeah.
And she, I'm sorry.
Maybe
y'all.
that's that blue
So y'all know-
privilege thing.
So y'all know this lady asked him and Nicki to put her in the song.
Yes,
Yeah.
I heard that.
She said do a remake of On Bended Knee. He said I don't even sing.
Is she serious?
I don't even sing. I rap. You want me to sing On Bended Knee and then invite
Put
you
your
into the
name in
song
it?
to shout you the F out for ruining my life? How I got a job and I'm still on probation? How you tell me I can't work and because I can't work, I gotta go to jail. But you told me to stop working and I can't travel. Like y'all got it is such a good documentary, and I think it was very well done. Like everything they did, from Jay-Z speaking to Meek just telling his story to his family. His son got me teared up a couple of times, but this system is effed up, especially for, I mean, shit for everybody. I'm not even gonna
I
single it
mentioned
out.
this in like the way earlier episodes. We're saying like stories like this is very hard for me to watch because I just get so emotional about it, and it fucks me up for a couple days. But if you can stomach it, or if you've just never actually seen something like this, you need to watch it. Like you need to watch something to just open your eyes a bit more to how crazy things can be. I'm team the Central Park 5 situation because I always knew about that, but watching the story, you just get so mind blown about it. And then Meek Mills, I think, will be beneficial because he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's cool, he's popular. You would think that things aren't so fucking crazy for him, but they get just
were
as
worse.
Yeah,
Because
bitches
he was
ask him
who
to
he
make
was.
songs.
Right.
I can't watch stuff like that.
Yes, I can't watch.
I
stuff like
remember
that.
Micah said something
I can't.
like that on an episode a while back about, I think you guys were talking about slave movies or something like that. She just said she couldn't watch it. If
said-
No,
certain
that's
things-
me. I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Once I watch,
Ain't your mood
the
fucked up
next
for
the
a
next
while?
day, my mood is fucked up towards a certain color.
White people.
Don't look at me. Don't talk to me.
It's the whites. I told you, and I work with white people. I can't be in there in a bitchy mood. That's exactly what I said. Like, I can't. My whole demeanor is different, and I get it. You know, we can't blame y'all for whatever. Honestly, I need time. My emotions are very
Right.
raw all the time. So after seeing stuff like that, I can't. This is why I got to just maintain myself. When it comes to that, this may get you more angry at the police, but nobody likes 12 apparently. So this
Listen.
wouldn't be a.
I've had so many issues. I've had
With
so
12?
many run-ins with the police
Why do they call it 12?
where
That's a good question.
No.
Can someone tell
Can
us?
someone tell us why the police are called 12? We would like to know. All right, continue. You've had so many issues with the popo for show.
yeah, for no reason. You know,
You already know
I'm
how
no
that go.
angel.
We know. I know.
Where it's
Micah don't
like,
know. I know.
When they should be bothering me, they never bother me. But it's like when I'm literally
Well, you
minding
being
my
a good
business,
guy.
like it is always in front of my mom's house. I was like 16, 17, like we're just hanging out.
They don't like
Not
that.
on the street.
You
in front of the
niggas
house.
need to go in the house.
Just pull up with guns and all that. I'm like, girl, why are you doing all that?
Be extra.
But that reminds me when like we had it was either last year or the year before, like it was like back to back to back black guys that were just getting shot out of nowhere, and I was so emotionally just sad, bro. Like I was still with my ex at the time, so I would just call him all the time. Can you please hurry up and come home? Like, cause and he got dreads and tattoos everywhere. He looks like a nice guy, but if he got them sleeves up, he looks like a thug. And I was so concerned.
So who though? See, that's
To
my
the
problem.
whites.
That's the problem I have with the police, because where I feel like, all right, for me, I think
You don't look like a thug. You look a nice
desegregation is the dumbest thing ever, right? I
Bruh.
want to be segregated
Bruh.
because the Jews are
Segregate me.
segregated,
Oh, I
the
get
Arabs
what
are
you're saying.
segregated,
Segregate me, bruh. Please.
the Chinese are segregated, right?
Yes.
So the thing with the police is that they don't live in the hood. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I
they don't know.
I could see two people with dreads. Fuck that. I could see a person with dreads and I see somebody with a brush cut. I know who's the threat.
Right.
I know which one's the threat
Right.
just by looking at their face, right? Where Bob from Davy. Once he sees dreads,
Bob's
like it
not
could have
racist
been,
as fuck.
it could have been a what's Halle Berry's ex-husband name?
Billy Bob? No, that's not her husband. Who's?
Halle
He
Berry.
cheated on her, Eric Benet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been an Eric
Sorry.
Benet, but
Sorry.
you're like, oh my gosh, he has dreadlocks. He's a thug.
Let's get. And
It's
he, you
Eric
know he
Benet,
ain't. Yeah,
bro.
he ain't.
He's not gonna
shit,
do nothing
yeah.
but sing to you.
Beautifully, by the way.
And
I
that's
like
that's the problem I have with the whole policing system. Where I
Well,
feel
isn't that the logic where they say if you police this area, you need to be from this area?
you should
Yeah.
live in the area.
Yeah, you should look
Definitely.
exactly. So you'll know this isn't some hoodlum. This is Tom.
But that's the
Or this is
thing.
Terry, and he be out here all the time.
But police were created to keep slaves in check. They were created to go get the runaways. So if you really think about it, they still doing their effing job.
Yeah.
Like, period. Like, they're still doing their job. But on top of everything, it just makes me...
It should be a law. It should be a law. Like I
It's
was,
not for
I think
us,
Killer
bro.
Mike said something about.
Killer Mike is the realest in the world.
Did y'all
bro.
see that recent episode
Yeah.
that he did with T.I.?
Yeah,
And
I only
those-
saw like
at the Revolt thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said something there with the I guess the mayor or somebody in Atlanta, how he structured it to where
Yep.
black people had to get 29%.
Yep.
Of what?
I feel
I don't get it.
Of
the-
construction.
the contracts should
Right.
be minorities.
Okay.
A
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
percentage.
25% have to be black.
And I feel like they should do the same with cops. Like if you have Lauderhill, I need 50% of that police force
To be from
to be
Lauderdale.
cops.
Right.
Because
Right,
the
right.
thing is, like, the hood don't hate cops. I don't care if you're a drug dealer, whatever it is. You know what you sign up for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, yeah, fuck you, but there's some cool cops, and you doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm avoiding you from a distance.
Right.
But you have the
That's
cop
damn
that's
right.
like, come on, bro, what you doing? And then you have the
Yeah.
little dickhead that just comes and nag you for no reason.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the person that everybody has a problem with.
Right.
You have a job to do. So it's like whatever you're doing, what I would be doing on my side, you have to do your job. You could have been my brother. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
do your job. But just
Yeah.
don't do the most.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's the power struggle. Like, when you give someone the opportunity to basically tell someone else what to do, all of a sudden heads get bigger. All of a sudden voices get deeper and louder. It's like you're waving around the fact that you can tell somebody what to do. That's childish to me. So, huh?
Sure.
Huh?
I
Not
cuss
saying we
all
could
the
curse.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Hella
pause,
dropping.
guys. That is such a cool question to me because all the podcasts I listen to, someone always asks, "Can I cuss there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." Carl just asked if you can cuss. Yes, you can
After I
cuss.
probably cuss like a whole bunch.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I don't know. I've been cussing.
She be
off.
going.
With the cops, I think it's like a short dick syndrome. It's like
Possibly.
a bunch of dudes where it's just like
They probably get
they
teased the
have,
whole time when
they
they were
have
kids.
real
But
issues.
definitely.
Now they have this badge like, yo, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm above you.
Yeah.
And
So they're hiring the
I'm gonna
wrong
tell you what the
people.
fuck to
And
do.
I have an ex-police officer as a friend. She's a woman. Kasia, shout out to you. Kasia used
She's
to
on
be,
myself. Hey, Keisha.
she used to be a police officer. And the one thing that she kept saying, like, Micah, it's in the training. It's after, like, you literally take a test for, like, fractions and stop signs and citations and dumb shit. Like, they don't do real life training as they should, like having a conversation, diffusing a situation, like things like that. So you use your gun to diffuse. You use the weapons to diffuse instead of using your communication skills. Like, you literally go 0 to 100 real quick because you don't know how to diffuse somebody who's being rude to you. And my thing is, I had to work in a middle school. Low key, it's like working in a detention center because they don't care. They don't have no respect for you. So the moment this 12-year-old sizes me and rolls her eyes, I have an option. I can get upset. I can cuss her little ass out. Or I can say, you know what? This shit is coming from somewhere else. It has nothing to do with me. I can take the high road and be like, when you're ready to talk to me about whatever's happening with you, then we can talk. I did that to a freaking 11-year-old and she got it. I
Yeah.
said, I'm not sure what the attitude is about. If I did anything, I apologize. I apologize to 11-year-old.
That's sweet.
People so hung up on pride and you ain't finna get me to blah, blah, blah. It ain't got nothing to do with you most of the time. So if that's the case, if I walk around acting like, okay, cool, this person got an attitude and it got shit to do with me, I bet you'll treat people very much with respect because it's not always about you, bro.
yeah.
She came to me later and said, oh, remember you said I'm supposed to talk to you like an adult? I said, yes, I remember that. She was like, Well, I just feel like my mama be tripping, but ain't got shit to do with me. She went to carrying on about her mama and how her mama do this and her mama do that. I don't even know her. But she's sizing me and rolling her eyes for whatever reason. I ain't do nothing but walk up. So why would I get offended or why would I get defensive off of something I know I had nothing to... I don't got nothing to do with this. All right, sis, I'm going to let you have your moment. That's how you... All right, cool. And then she came to me and told me what the problem really was. Police are not trying to find what the problem really is.
At all.
They're not. They're just trying to eliminate and move on. Eliminate and move on. A white woman cussed the shit out of a police officer. Give me your badge number. You should be ashamed. She poking this nigga. And you know what he's doing? He's remaining calm.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what, ma'am? Stop. Ma'am. Ma'am.
Sarah.
Don't
Sarah.
you put, ma'am.
Sarah.
I'm going to detain you. Like, he gave her like 12 chances before he even politely put her hands behind her back. Although she was struggling. She was weak. But put her hands behind her back. Pull up against the car. Are you going to relax? Are you going to calm down? He asked her that 12 times. Yeah. We don't get that. We get slammed to the ground in front of our kids. Like, what? This is just going back to slavery, how you break the strongest nigga in front of everybody to show an example. This shit has not changed. It's just changed the face.
So something I saw during the time when everything was really publicized, all the hashtags and all that, it was just like, and not to discredit what they do, but they take the test, they do the training, and you get in the academy, right? And this is kind of how it goes. And then if you pass it, then you're a police officer. What no one ever accounts for the fact is that these are normal human beings like everybody else. If they stress the fuck out at work, at home, their wife may be cheating on them. Like, how do I know that
you ain't taking your day out on me?
Yeah, you know, exactly. And the difference is, while I may not be able to just walk up to Carlem and slap the shit out of him, if I have a badge, I can say he was resisting. And and as far as we've seen so far, the police can do whatever the fuck they want to do in any grounds, and we probably make a hashtag and we get real hype about it for a little bit, and then they get, was it indicted or something, but then like charges or whatever, whichever one, where we charge them with something but nothing ever happens. Right. And this is the reoccurring thing that happens. Like, I think the only one that I've seen actually come through is the fucking white lady that walked into that black man's house and shot him. She walked into his shit, killed him, because she thought it was her house. Yeah. And they actually gave her ass some time. But that was it.
And that's probably still a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, she's probably got like 5 years. And she'll probably be out on 2 with good behavior or some shit like that.
Because in no way, shape, or form can a white person ever go insane. They're so mentally stable. There's no way. Oh, even that boy who got off because he was privileged. They have made a whole term because he was privileged. Oh, there's no way he could have understood the consequences. He killed 5 people. Yeah, there's no and he raped a girl. Oh. There's no way that he could understand the consequences because everything was given to him, and he always gets away with everything. So we're gonna have to treat this like a very sensitive case. Like, my nigga, are you serious?
That's so hypocritical, so blatantly hypocritical, because the only people that seem to get away with insanity pleas all the time are fucking white people. Yes. Yeah. When the other one went in there and like the Batman thing and killed 12 fucking people in the movie theater, and he did look like he was on some other shit. His hair was orange. He looked like psycho. But they get away with the insanity plea all the time. So in one breath, they're too privileged to understand, and in the other breath, well, honestly, it's crazy. Like, niggas can't be crazy. You know what? Like, we ain't had enough shit to be crazy.
Yeah, we should be. We're the craziest ones.
Yeah, we should be fucked up.
Back to the whole army thing. They talk about PTSD.
Oh, my gosh.
You go to Chicago, there's like, what, 3 killings a day?
Yeah, it's bad.
That's not PTSD?
Right. And people are just walking. You know what I mean? Stray bullets. People get caught. Some 9-year-old girl got killed not too long ago off of just bullets. And it ain't got nothing to do with her or her family. She was in her house. I think she was 7. She was 9 or 7.
My friend's grandmother and brother died the same week from bullets in Chicago.
Fuck.
Grandmother.
Yo, I'm in Chicago every 2 days.
I don't like that for you.
I get used to it, but
I don't like it.
I have a friend that stays in Chicago. He likes it. I don't know where he lives.
I like it.
I want to visit.
He lives down the street from Obama.
It's like there's a certain, where not to go.
You know where not to go.
Obama's house.
Where do you not go here? Is it Overtown? Is that where you don't go? Here?
No.
Yeah.
You know when you from somewhere, I go anywhere.
Where are you not supposed to go here?
Deep
Well,
side
not
at
necessarily
night.
not supposed to go. They just
Pompano, you don't go Pompano.
Isn't this Pompano?
Pompano. Hell no, it's North Florida, bitch.
Oh.
No, it says it on our city, but this is not Pompano.
Oh, okay.
Pompano is where Ely is.
Like that.
Pompano's where Ely is. I definitely went to the game and they were shooting. So yes.
Okay.
But
You said Chicago. You have somebody who lives in Chicago, and they
yeah,
like
he
it?
lives 2 blocks away from Obama's house before he became the president. I don't know. That's on the south side, ain't it? Not sure specifically.
Probably.
And he stays down the street from Farrakhan, which is one of the major activists.
That's
that we
another
had.
thing. I didn't like how they did him either.
And what, like in general in life?
No, Facebook and Instagram.
Explain.
Farrakhan, they took off. They deleted his page.
What?
He speaks too radically. People don't know how to.
I don't think he's that radical though. It's like it was too far right or something. It was him and a couple other. There was some white guys too that was.
Couple Caucasians.
But
But of course. But
freedom of speech.
But of course.
He
but
wasn't saying nothing
but-
like, oh,
Off
let's
the
go
wall.
burn them.
so listen. Because you have an influential man like Farrakhan,
And that was the last one.
Malcolm X, and like Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, he
I love
can
Marcus
reach
Garvey.
too
We
many
all do.
people on Instagram. You can reach too many people. You know what? No, you're not going around doing speeches, nigga. But you on Instagram making minute videos that can change a bitch life? Nah.
But you know
We
what
gotta cut
he
you
was-
off.
You know what he was also doing that they didn't like? He understood. Because Farrakhan was around with Malcolm.
Right.
There's, it's back to the same rumors that he.
They
had
claim he
something to
killed
do
him,
with-
right? I
yeah.
thought so. That's what I was
But
always.
Farrakhan is smart to where he understands, like, he's a lot of time he targets a lot of rappers. Mm-hmm. He's like, listen, you're the voice, so
You need to do
I'm
something
gonna
about
talk
it.
to you,
Right.
and you talk to your audience.
Mm-hmm.
But
J. Cole, shout out to you. You the only one talking, but they ain't listening.
I didn't like
want him to cut his
I didn't
hands,
like the
getting on my
fact
nerves.
what they did to him at all.
Well, and I'm sure he's fully aware that
I'm gonna
I mean,
keep reposting him.
that's what I'm saying because
He gonna find a way to get back.
yeah, they're gonna just if he put something up, he put it somewhere, they're gonna get it, and maybe your shit will get reported. Maybe they'll hack your page like they did mine. But his message will be spread regardless. I feel like with the amount of hate shit that's put up all the time, like they had like a KKK rally a couple months ago, and the police were there. And
I wanna
just
go
keep
to
peace.
one.
I just feel like how the fuck is something like this allowed to be out? And not a problem, and we getting rid of Farrakhan, whatever the fuck he's talking about.
Because
You get what I'm
think
saying?
About it. People love to perpetuate hate. That shit gets views. Like somebody getting shot, like those viewings where they actually bring the whole town to see somebody get shot in the head. Like I'm not sure. I think that's in Iraq. There's somewhere
Yeah.
they do public deaths.
Yeah.
All right,
A lot of
all right,
places
y'all.
do
It
things
goes
like
back
that.
to slavery with the whole picnic thing. That's where picnic came from.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna watch us hang these black people and then torture.
Even
This is a
in
picnic. Bring food. These hoes, they were eating
even in
while
Tulsa,
that was happening.
they said in Tulsa how it was set up that there was like a crowd that came and see what was actually going on with
Yeah.
the whole bombing.
Yeah. So this is nothing new,
Wow.
but people love despair. That's
Yeah.
dramatic. That gets people going, right? We talk about all the time when it comes to support. I literally post things about how to propel generational wealth, and you talk about on our podcast how to make everything better, and how like we're opening the perspective. Like these are positive things, and it's not being reposted at the
Oh.
same amount as fights.
I know that
and killings. Like
firsthand.
Exactly.
When I talk fuckery, my DMs just blow up.
Yeah.
Whenever I come up there and talk fuckery, my DMs blow up.
Say some real shit.
When
and
I
they
start
gone.
sitting there like, hey, you guys should start, IRAs and this, that, and the third, and get life insurance, just crickets. Just
When I read him posting, I was like, Carlem, I'm impressed. He was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't just talk fuck real here. I was like, well, I guess I'm impressed. But that's true. I mean, I guess. And then, if anything, black people, because we're always targeting these messages to you. Ask yourself if you even care, because what gets me, and I'm gonna say this. I have two educated black folks here. I'm gonna just say it like this. There's a level of me that just can't deal with the ignorant level of us. Like there's a bunch of us that just don't give a fuck to do better.
the majority, I feel.
I would say so. I feel like, yeah. And I don't know how the fuck to handle them. Like, it's just like, you know what? I ain't got nothing for you, bro. Like, I don't know what advice to give you. You know, okay, so prime example. My daughter's dad, I was with him one time, and he came home. He was hanging out with somebody, whatever, and he was like, bro, I had the most ignorant conversation I've ever had in my life. They were younger kids, and his whole logic was, man, like, I ain't finna work at McDonald's, bro. Like, I ain't got time for that. I'd rather just run up on a nigga and rob him. And so Manny was like, all right, son. Well, you know, Manny was like, well, why? I know McDonald's isn't paid as great, and you probably, you know, but it's still an honest job. He's like, you do all that, probably make like a stack, and then you get locked up for a bazillion fucking years on that. Then you can never work at McDonald's. You'd be lucky if, you know what I mean? So Manny's trying to give this guy all the advice he could, and Manny was like, it didn't matter what I was saying to him. He was just like, man, nah, man, I ain't got time for that shit. Poverty. Fuck all that. Da, da, da. So then Manny's thing to me is that, okay, well, you got to understand, like, we were in my living room, and he was just like, his whole fucking situation is probably about this big, and it's him and probably like mad sisters and brothers in there. So he don't really give a fuck. Like, his mindset isn't let me go do some McDonald's. His mindset is I'm gonna rub up on this white person who gotta get, or maybe whomever I see that's doing better, and I'm gonna go take their thing. So it's like, you know, a part of me feels bad for that, and there's another part of me that's just like, I don't know how the fuck to help him. I have not mastered the art of telling you what I feel like is common sense, and I respect that it's not common sense to you, but the issue is there's a disconnect now, because Leah don't know what the fuck to do for you, because what you're saying to me sounds crazy as fuck, and what I'm saying to you sounds crazy as fuck. Why would I go work at McDonald's when I could just rob a nigga and hopefully get away with it and make $1,000? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully if the TV or whatever the fuck you stole is worth all that.
So I've had a couple of conversations with people in general just about, like, literally, like, I had an 8th grader sitting with him, and he wasn't doing anything. And mind you, I work with the lowest 35% of the class. So these niggas is intensive reading and writing and math. So he's sitting there, he not writing. I'm like, bruh, I'll give you credit if you just write a sentence. You don't even have to write the whole paragraph. Like, I'm that teacher. I want you to do something so you won't get a complete 0, my G. Like, get a 4, like something. So I'm like, bro, just write a sentence. He was like, all right. So the sentence he wrote was, I'm only writing this because Miss Nixon told me to, period. I was like,
hey, you wrote
killing me, PD. Literally, like, and then I was like, what is this? He said, Miss Nixon, I'm dropping out of school next year when I turn 16. Mind you, he's the 15-year-old 8th grader.
Yeah.
I'm dropping out of school when I turn 16. I'm working at Costco like my daddy. What the F am I supposed to say after that? What? Your daddy ain't shit because he work at Costco? There's no way. There's no way. But
I'll say it.
Yeah,
I'm about to say it. See what happens.
But there's benefits in that. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, working at Costco versus working at McDonald's, they could get 401k. Like, if you work at Publix, shit, you getting praised because you work at Walmart versus Publix. Walmart, you're poverty for the rest of your life. Publix, you have an opportunity to get stocks. You have an opportunity to get health insurance. Like, Publix is really doing it for their employees. So my thing is, I'm not gonna knock the regular person who just wants to work at Costco or Walmart or Wendy's or whatever the case is. But when a kid literally tells you, got his whole life ahead of him, he stayed back, and it probably hindered his confidence as much as it probably did, because all his homeboys moved forward and he didn't. So everybody out in high school, and you still in 8th grade with the rest of these children, because that's what they are. Nobody laughs at your jokes because you're too mature. You don't get it. You bigger than everybody. So, like, you stand out like a sore thumb. Yeah. So now you're in this defeatist mindset. It's just like, bro, like, I don't even care about none of this shit. Like, I'm dropping out of school and working for the rest of my life. So it's just a very, like you said, like there's
a disconnect.
The gap that's in between privileged African Americans or privileged people, because you're privileged to a certain extent because you were able to have a working mom who did not stop until y'all was straight.
Right.
That's the difference. And his mom may be working until they're straight, but her straight may be $7 an hour. Her straight may be better than nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Or she may just not have been able to be around as much because she was working so fucking
right,
much.
Right.
So then little daddy gotta occupy his time some way.
So you can't be parenting.
He in the streets with
you can't be parenting. So I totally understand. And these kids make their own decisions. Like Meat Mill moved out when he was 14. This nigga was like, nah, I don't want to stay with my mom and my sister. I want to stay with my brothers and my cousins because they were men. I don't want to stay with women. Can I move with them? It wasn't a choice. He just left. And he stayed.
I would handle that.
He stayed clear across town from his mom. So,
I couldn't do that.
So he couldn't.
My mom would have killed me.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
he made the decision. I'm not living with y'all no more. I'm going to stay with my cousins and I'm going to stay with my uncles. And that's what he did. So that's who raised him. So like when you think about those kids where it's like they make their decisions, they don't think things through, but the weight of the world is on them. They tired of being hungry. Like it's just so many things that go into being poverty stricken, because poverty adds another level of stress. It adds another level of survival, and people in survival mode don't make good decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
They make survival decisions.
And then fast forward this to now, this same gentleman is like in his 30s or late 20s, and then he's seeing you talking about ROAs and investments, and it's like, what the fuck is this Jamaican nigga
He ain't
talking
got
about?
nothing to
Because they
say.
think you Jamaican. What is this nigga talking about? And then I'm sitting here giving advice on how to get your credit up the way I did it by myself. You don't have to hire anybody to do it. You can just figure it out. They don't really care about that either, because it's just like that has nothing to do.
But it's too far from where they're at. So
yeah, it has nothing to do with where they are right now.
Teach me how to survive when my mom doesn't come home.
But we're past that.
me-
Now. We're talking about 30-something-year-olds. So they're
gone already. But that's what I'm saying.
So that's
we've
what I'm
already
saying.
lost
That
them.
brings it back. That's what I'm saying. That brings it back to this. There's a level of blacks that I feel like I don't know
Lost
how to help
cause?
them. Right. But then how fucked up is that to say these niggas just lost to the world at this point? Like, it just is what it is. Fuck them. Because that's what we're saying. Fuck these niggas then.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm at that point.
I'm not there yet.
I feel like I'm there because I don't know
See,
what else to do,
used
and I
to
can't
be-
stress about
I used
it.
to be like,
I'll cry, y'all.
I used to be like Mike on steroids, right? Like
Right.
Super woke. Like when
You
the
talking
term
this?
when the term woke came,
You were so ready for it.
I was already there.
It pissed me
Whatever
off.
that
It's like
means.
you've been
because
there.
I'm like, I was born woke. This
Hello.
is just common sense.
Come on.
Right.
Like, what you mean? Just you look around, you're like, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right.
Right.
And but the thing with me is, it started to get frustrating. Like,
Yeah.
why aren't they getting this?
Yeah.
But later on,
It's so simple and stupid almost.
I
Yeah.
started to understand to where it's like, you can't really judge somebody on how they view things if you've never been there.
Agreed.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm from the islands. I grew up in Haiti. There is no McDonald's.
Word.
There's no, go find a job. You go find something to do. So it's like, I feel like everybody, you had no choice but to have an entrepreneurial mindset because there's no jobs.
You gotta
So
create
when I
your
come
own.
here,
Right.
and I'm looking like, why y'all just sitting there ain't doing shit?
Yes.
But they grew up that way. It's
Yes.
normal to them. Moms get the whole welfare, et
Medical
cetera, et cetera, et
assistance.
cetera.
Right.
So it's like, we can't really judge. And then I'm like, okay, how, like, I'll give you an example of somebody that I like what he's doing, even though it's questionable. I like the
overall idea.
overall
Yeah,
idea. Jay Morrison.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He was
Black
actually
guy.
at the same summit with T.I. and Killer Mike. He actually made a comment on there. What he does, ex-drug dealer, et cetera,
Oh,
real
yeah.
estate mogul.
Yeah, real estate, yeah.
He goes to every hood, Chicago,
Oh.
Miami, Detroit, et cetera,
Detroit.
and just stands in the corner and does a real estate class
That's nice.
and teach you about credit.
Yeah.
And,
And everything.
and it's gonna, for some you're gonna get a crowd.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the majority of people, they don't care. And then not only that, you have, I feel that the other side,
The whites.
the whites, they're purposely pushing shit on us to distract us.
Like what? Like headlines? What do you mean?
Just entertainment in general. I feel.
Okay.
Entertainment in general, to where it's like, yo, if you really start to talk about certain things, like, fuck it. Did you see who came out with this? Or
Yes. Kim Kardashian has
But
cornrows today.
we're definitely, yeah. So my thing to that is like, it's kind of what that lady said on the that talk that they had, the revolt, the Black Revolt, whatever, when they had T.I. and Killer Mike on there. Trump has done more things for black people recently than the last president has done, right?
Bro.
So yeah,
That's
so
what they
he
saying,
he
friend.
got a lot of black people exonerated from the crimes that they were falsely committed or they were wrongfully sentenced, like he actually got them out. So mind you, T.I.'s standpoint is this brainwash is capitalistic. Like he's definitely just trying to push for the black vote.
It doesn't matter.
But he
still did it.
But he still did it.
Yeah.
So going back to the Morrison situation, regardless of why he's standing on the corner doing what he's doing, he may not capture them. And like I said, I'm gonna go back a little further. We're trying to teach people who've been poverty stricken for majority of their lives credit.
Yeah.
That's the furthest shit from their mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever a 401k is, what the fuck? Like, my mom, what? Like, mind you, like, people work at, like, really upstanding jobs, like nurses, and their moms have no idea that they have stake in the company when you work a certain amount of years. They have no idea what that means. Like, one of my friends was just talking to one of her older cousins, and he was like, I don't know if I have 401k. You can ask.
Yeah.
You've worked there for 5 years. You've worked there for 8 years. What does my 401k look like? Can I set it up? Like, they don't think of that because we're not taught that. So my thing is, if you take someone who's been poverty stricken, what is their first immediate thing that they need? Food, shelter, like protection, clothing, very minimal humane things.
Yeah.
If you secure that, they can open their mind to other things. I can't open my mind to shit else no one is saying because I can't even do the basic needs of a human being. So it's like, I feel like with the reach that we have, yes, we're very educated. Yes, we're very knowledgeable. Yes, we have the platform to actually excel and do better and help others, but we have to help them on a very
minute level.
Yes. And so that's frustrating because you have to figure out how to target these people in a very minute way, but it's a building thing. So I have to start here. No, they're not going to automatically get it off rip because they weren't taught it. Oh, yeah, you just coming around here because you want something from us. Oh, you just want to vote. Oh, you just... Because people always want something from them. They do. They don't trust anyone. So, like, I feel like they hold a special place in my heart because of that. But also, it's like, it's something to get frustrated about, but it's also something like, you know what? I'm not going to head it. I'm not going to be the leader of it, but I'll join the cause. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all may not be the leaders of the shit, but you can join the cause. Like, you can be a big brother, little sister. Like, you can do something.
Exactly what you said was what even like made me decide to want to have a podcast, because I was raised by a Jamaican, right? Like, I was born in America, I grew up in Jamaica, and then I came here, and my mom is just straight Jamaican every way. Like, I'm turning into her every time Mia do something crazy. I turn Jamaican, and Mia understands and be like, "Okay, mommy, sorry." So I'm same thing with you, where it's just like I know I have relatives that, I mean, not at this point, thank God, we've grown a bit, but back then when I went to Jamaica, I was like mind blown. Like, it was such a culture shock. Like, so y'all don't wear shoes at all. Y'all just walk around like this, and this is it. And then I tried to do it. Right? And then I was like, my feet are too soft for this. And I still tried anyway to get fucked up, and my cousin would just be running. So it's like, I came from seeing stuff like that and seeing how hard my cousins would go to see if they can get a visa to come here. And they gladly probably go work at McDonald's just on the strength of, we need a job, right? Because
they're paying
Jamaica.
us.
But I don't know how big the tourism is in Haiti, but
no,
right,
way smarter.
Right, in Jamaica, that's it.
Island I've been to.
Wow. So that's what I'm saying. That's Jamaica's bread and butter right there. So every, sandals, blah blah. Anyway, it's beautiful down there, and that's what they go for. So if you don't work at a hotel for whatever reason, and honestly, I don't know what the fuck else they do, unless they grandma got a shop, or you open a shop, or you run taxi. That's kind of it. So my thing is, I was with you, where it's like, when I come here and I see how ungrateful, in my opinion, it was that Americans were, I was just like, this shit is crazy to me, right? And it took Micah giving me that whole spiel. Like, I always bring this story up. Micah gave me a spiel of like, okay, Lee, but you got to understand. Like, when I'm at school and this kid's acting up all day, and it's like, oh my gosh, why is this shit acting like this? This shit goes home and doesn't get to be a kid. He goes home and he's the oldest of like 6 kids or 3, whatever. And his mom is working. She's doing what she can, but she's a nurse and she works overnight. So that means this nigga got to make sure it's something for them to eat and it's something for them to do. Make sure they get to bed on time, just on the strength of helping his mom out. And he becomes a full-blown adult
at 10.
At 10.
Like,
you know what I mean?
what?
So when he comes to school, it's the only break he gets. and he gets to show. They go to fucking Boston again.
Or he gets to go to sleep.
Or he goes to sleep. Right. And so when Micah break it down that way, I was just like, oh my gosh, mind blown. Now, something I just thought about that I feel like I didn't think about before is that this also happens in Jamaica. There are many homes where the mom's probably doing overnight shift at the hotel, or she doesn't get off till late at the hotel, and it doesn't. I still feel like there's another level of privilege here just being in America, because it's still not as crazy as literally walking around in like the same fucking clothes, having 3 outfits, period.
Right. So
you get what I'm saying? Your house has zinc on top.
So think about
People
this.
don't even know what the fuck zinc is.
So think about this, Leah. All right, think about this. So that's what poverty looks like in Jamaica, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine an American boy, black boy.
I totally get it.
Growing up. And the moment he has an opportunity to excel, they give him stipulation to why he can't. It's about to rain. Y'all may hear some raindrops.
You may hear some pitter patter, okay?
So, because we have systematic and institutionalized discrimination, it makes it harder for people to excel. So they give the F up.
Right.
Because every time I get a little something, they take it back. Every time I do a little, they take it back. They bomb my shit. Like, that is the defeatist mindset in Americans' minds. So, yes, we have the privilege. We have the blah, blah, blah. The moment we use that shit, nah, nigga, you just a nigga. Like, it literally takes you right back to as if you were from a third world country.
Right.
These Latin people are getting better jobs than black males who are American citizens. That is a real thing.
It's real deal. And this is what Micah explained. Again, which aids into why I definitely understand. But then this is where I get to what I just said. It's like, I don't know what to do for him. I don't want to be, I don't know what else to do, because it's like, wow, I was annoyed at first. Like, how the fuck don't get it? You don't even understand. You're lucky you can even work at McDonald's. Like, you're just born being able to do that. You got to be at least top-notch half coolie to be able to get you a decent job at front desk at Sundowns. Or you gotta be the cutest of the cutest, or at least know somebody to get into the fucking docking or whatever the fuck, right? I understand that. And then coming here, you explaining it this way, fully get it. Leah, this is what they know. And I agree with you. Don't know what you don't know. Yeah. You don't miss what you never had. You don't feel like you're missing out on something that you didn't even know existed, right? Like people who ain't never left Florida at all. Like I know a lot of people that left Florida. Like they never been on a plane.
Have no desire to.
Yeah, they don't even care. They're fine. So I get that, but then it doesn't change the fact that the only way I know how to deliver this advice is by giving you examples of, you know how fucked up it is here. And I don't think I am good at delivering that message in a way that they would receive. Yeah. So this is what makes me, I'm exactly where you're at. I just kind of give up on it.
But like, that's what I'm saying.
I won't be a bitch about it. I won't judge them on it, because Micah and Manny have trained me enough. I always say I give Micah and Manny credit. They've made me a lot nicer than I would have been had I never met them, because I understand now. So where you would have instantly just got on my fucking nerves, now I understand. I don't know what the fuck to do for you.
And you don't do anything. That's the thing. You support, like I said, you support from afar. You don't have to be the leader in whatever, like, crusade we're trying to save the blacks. Yeah. You don't have to be the leader.
Well, how could you do that?
Just support it.
What do you think?
For me, like, all right, I always tell people, like, my whole social media is a social experience.
It truly is, my friend. It truly
is. Like, it really is. Like, I know what I'm doing. People don't be getting what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing.
You do your thing.
It's like
you get them in. I feel like you get them in with the fuckeries, right? And then you drop little gems along the way. Yes, that's how I get from it.
And what I've realized is throughout time, once in a while I'll drop little gems, and then over time, somebody will hit me up. Like, yo, I remember you said something like 3 months ago about
does that make you feel
this,
good?
That, and the
you
third.
Touched somebody, Carlem.
Like, I'm thinking about buying some stocks. I'm like, okay, boom, you go this way. Because at the end of the day, it boils down to the education. Because and for me, I've seen it on both sides. Like on the Haitian side, there's a big disconnect where they're like, yo, Black Americans are so fucking lazy.
That's how
you
Jamaicans
have all
feel.
These resources, and
that's
you're not
how
utilizing
we feel.
it. You have free school, because in Haiti, there's you might as well say there's no such thing as free school, right? So you have a shoe shiner, and I think it's all islands. Like we really believe in education. Yeah. So you have a shoe shiner taking all his money to send his kids to school, and then when they come up here, like, you have free school and you're not doing it.
You're not even doing shit.
And I have to, like, even my parents sometimes, like, listen, like, I'm looking at it from a different angle.
Yeah.
It's like they don't know. It's like how when it comes to white people, right?
Wait,
Like,
quick question before you do that. How did you? I didn't know, and Micah and Manny helped me understand that I didn't know that. What made you click to like, damn, it's not the same for them here? Did you just realize it?
I'm just a curious ass person.
Okay,
so like, and I have a lot of time in my hands, so it's like, and I like to talk. I like to get everybody. Like I like to see everything
Insight,
from somebody
perspective,
else.
right.
That's why I think you learned. This is another point of podcast. Like, if I didn't talk to Micah about this type of shit, I'd still be looking at Americans like, you motherfuckers are dumb.
Yeah, because it's like I'm a big numbers person, right?
Yeah.
And I've literally sat there like just for fun, just talking to friends like, listen, if me, especially when you have a spouse, like me and a spouse, there's certain places in America. You can't do it down here, but there's certain places in America I could live with a spouse at $12 an hour. I could still live
Thrive.
an okay life
Right.
and build generational.
Thrive.
I could go to Ohio, buy a house for $40,000.
It's cheap in Ohio?
Yeah,
Yes.
I
It's
could-
cheaper than Georgia?
You could buy a house for like $5,000.
You're a liar.
I'm
Get out of
so
here.
serious.
No.
I done kicked you out twice already. You ain't left yet.
Right?
Yeah.
But you like $12 an hour, $12 an hour. You buying a $40,000 house. How much is your mortgage?
You're in
You could
Florida.
Yeah,
raise,
your mortgage is low,
you could
low.
raise kids, et cetera, and then you go to the hood and be like, what's compound interest?
Yeah.
Like, what?
What the fuck is that?
You get what I'm saying? It's like, oh, white people are just rich. They're rich for a reason.
Yeah.
Patience. We're hungry. We like when you're hungry, you don't have
Like
no
I
patience.
I just said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're
What are
hungry,
you- what are you-
what the fuck is credit?
what are you thinking
I want
about?
a sandwich. Yeah,
And
like
that's why I said
about
the whole,
eating.
what's the word?
generational wealth, credit, no,
Nah,
poverty.
when they and the whole integration thing.
Yeah.
If my thing is the best way to keep somebody a slave is to give them the illusion
That they're
that
not.
they're free.
Right.
Look at my friend
'Cause
dropping
now
gems
you not
today.
worried about nothing. Oh,
That's
cool.
true. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so free.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not in chains
All of your
anymore.
guards are down.
Yeah.
All of your guards.
And you just
are
are
down.
frolicking up it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when you have you realize when you have a credit card, right?
Yeah.
All right, you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys have good credit.
We-
When you have a credit card, when you're broke, it's like you're broke, but you're not.
You
really
ain't broke.
It's like, you know,
My
if
debit. I told you
anything-
they hacked my shit. I have no debit card, so like I feel like I'm broke because I can't get my debit card money, but I ain't broke.
Exactly. It's the
I
same
got
thing.
the credit
You
card.
have the freedom and the liberty to feel like you got something.
Yeah, you're relaxed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you don't have nothing,
That shit's a
and you
different
you
feeling.
look at your bank account like, yo, I only have
Survival mode.
$2. You gonna get your ass up and you gonna find.
You're gonna do
to
something. Exactly.
So I feel like it's the same thing. So it's like, oh, you guys are free. Okay, we don't gotta worry about nothing no more. Oh, they're giving us
food stamps.
Food stamps, this,
and
that, and the
medical
third.
care.
If I get pregnant, they pay for everything.
we're chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what this nigga talking about? Black power. This we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do we would have
That's
been
not my
like
fight, you
really struggling?
Yeah.
They might have been more open to hearing what the fuck what you was
Yeah.
saying. That's
Okay,
why I said I like
question.
Malcolm.
Different types of black
So
people.
can we being woke, being aware is a privilege.
Definitely.
Being woke is a privilege.
Definitely.
A privilege?
Yes,
In what
because
sense?
I can
You know what to do.
Yes, no, but not even that. Where I'm not struggling.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know
like
what to
I'm
do.
not on my last dime. My debit card been gone for a couple days. I don't fucking like it, but I have credit cards. I can use one of those, right? So I can sit here and pick and choose. I am well educated, as most black women are. Shout out to us. And if my job is pissing me off, and I do work around a lot of white people, but you know what? I can put my foot down. You're not going to disrespect me because I have multiple degrees. And I can go somewhere else and get another job if need be. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a privilege because of whatever, because I can just be born into a rich family and dropped out of high school, but I got the money. So being woke and being able to stand up for yourself is somewhat of a privilege because if you ain't fucking got it, you ain't got the time to be worried about Carlem ass talking about compound interest. Like fuck you in that. Like what is that, Carlem?
Exactly.
So, and then if you think about it that way, then it's like damn. It is a privilege to be able to say what you want to say. Like, think about I saw snippets of this whole revolt thing that they had. And Killer Mike is a wealthy man. He's also a rapper. He can do what he want to do. T.I. got $1 billion, 17 kids. He can do what he want to do. These are people that are well off, and shout out to them. They're doing what they can do for us. So shout out to them. But that is a privilege. Somebody broke that don't got shit. Like, can't nobody necessarily run up on T.I. I'm pretty sure before Killer Mike, he seemed like he's been
He'll
this way
let
for a
you
long
run up
time.
on him.
Yeah, and he's been prepared for whatever the white people may be able to do to him or other whomever else to get his shit. He's prepared for this type of thing.
He's educated.
As fuck, right?
Both ways, street and
Yeah, Killer Mike is he's special.
He's on another
special
level.
with something, man. So and then when you think about it that way, it's like I get what you're saying. Where find something and stick onto it. Like my passion is always kids. So if I can ever help young kids and at least not let them get to the point where they're our age and they're ignorant as fuck, then that's cool. Because I don't know how to deal with ignorant us. Like ignorant us,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. And then I feel like I'm around too long, and now you feel like you want to rob me because this bitch is too happy. She too woke. So and being woke is a privilege. So let's go rob her. Like I told you, I done lost $40-something already. They done scammed me out of that. A bitch, yeah. So I champion people like Micah because I ain't got it in me. Like
My thing is,
I ain't got it.
as far as what to do, I feel like that's the only thing you can really do is start them young. Like that's something I actually, when I have the time, I actually want to do it mainly with boys. Like I want to get them like maybe 10 and under, and just start putting certain things in their head,
Right.
and hopefully out of 10, if 3 sticks, that's good enough.
Right.
Like just on
Right.
business, or like yo,
Right.
you have 15 neighbors with grass, go cut some grass.
So my thing is,
That's like Nipsey and his brother.
but-
Yeah.
but you
Nipsey them
just
used to cut
said it, and you should do it. Like taking action. You know what I'm saying? Like same thing Killer Mike said. At the end of the day, we have all these ideas. We can come up with so many grand gestures to change our communities around us. We can get together in this fucking room, put it on Instagram, and glorify the shit out of how educated this person is or how well this person knows this, and we going back fact to fact to fact to fact. That's making you look good. But what are you doing after you're done looking good? Like, that's the point. So my thing is, you can start little by little if you want to. Like I said, like, it ain't for everybody. It's really not. And then my mom was telling me, like, she wants to start something where she does a whole financial literacy, therapy, everything for the black community. Every black person ain't finna be ready for that. That's just what it is. Yeah. So if you left behind, you left behind. But my thing is, J. Cole said a line. He was just like, I literally like get stressed out because I want to change the world. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
You can't change the entire world, but you can change your community. You can change this cluster of 5 people around you. You know what I'm saying? You get 5 boys that's already in your family. You don't have to go looking for some random little boys. You can get the ones that's in your family. All right, bro, we're going to meet an hour every Saturday for whatever. Okay, we're going to meet anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
Forcing that so that you can just start on something to give you something to propel it to be everything that you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? So, like, little things like that, when we come up with great ideas, we just need to act on them. And I think we think about how much time it's going to take. We think about how much backlash you may get. We think about how much funding it's going to take. Like, all of those things stop us from propelling forward. And so what Killer Mike was saying, this sound good.
Yeah.
It sound good. But what are y'all doing?
And can actually do it.
I feel like Jay-Z and Beyonce didn't get politically black until they had enough equity and enough money to back them up when it comes to whatever comes their way. Yeah. They could be sued for whatever, mind you. Anything could happen to them, but they're at a point where they're so comfortable it don't matter what happened because they family still eating. And I feel like I'm not gonna discredit them for taking this long because you kind of got to get a certain amount of clout, a certain amount of money for everybody to respect you. I respect this thing because he got $1 billion.
Just to ride the wave too. It's like, okay, at this point, I can't fall off because they could predict you and potentially blackball you. Like, damn, I gotta go broke.
True.
That's
you can't do that to Jay-Z.
You can't. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And Beyonce's
they're at a point they can.
Right. I can do dumb shit.
They can do anything they want and they can't be touched. Thank you for stepping in for these people who need you because they are at a
disadvantage.
Total disadvantage when it comes to a lot of this shit. And because niggas don't know the law, because niggas don't know constitutions, they don't know their rights, they don't. all this long list. And mind you, white people don't know that shit either.
At all.
I know they're not teaching their kids.
So white people don't know either.
They don't.
Okay,
And I
heard.
know they're not teaching their 12-year-olds how to respond to a police officer when he pulls you over. I know they're not having those debates or those questions, but the moment a white boy goes into questioning, they automatically assume, well, let's see what really is happening at home, because maybe he's being abused, or maybe he's not being heard, or maybe he's too privileged to know what this really means. They pacify everything. They don't have to know the law, but you're black. You have to know the law. You have to know what propels you forward.
Yeah.
But if you don't have anybody in your family to do so,
You're
what you
at a
gonna do?
disadvantage, too.
You're at a disadvantage.
And that's what I'm saying. As someone, like I said, who grew up in the islands, and like the biggest thing is like, can we get a visa? And it's on the strength of getting it for education, getting it because you know somebody, getting it because you marry somebody, literally whatever the fuck they can do to get here. And it's like they'll get here, and ultimately, if they're dedicated enough, stick to enough, they'll probably do better than a regular American that's here, just because they have a better drive. I got a couple logy ass cousins that don't do shit, but even still, they're quicker still to get up and do some shit legal than everyone else is that is here, because they know what it's like to be home. But I would say to all my Jamaican brethren, my Haitian brethren, all the islands that are out there, it's like I think we're mentally at an advantage over black Americans, and that's something that I don't want us to ever lose. While yes, everything's here, everything that glitters is not gold, and there's so many backwards thing here. Like literally, when I was growing up, they used to think they heard of dollar stores, so they literally thought, Carlem, like, oh, can you like buy me a TV at a dollar store? Like bring me a TV, it's $1. I was like, sis, it's not $1. You don't need one computer and we have dollar store. Everything's. You want some juice? I can get you some juice. America seems like such a magical, fantastical place, and then you come here and see how fucked up it is. And I think for the islanders that come here, it's probably for the ones who thought it was easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's like, damn, bitch, I gotta work to be here. Yeah, but I think they'll still put in the work. For Americans that are here, you were born into this, and there's still a level of poverty that you know. What I kept bringing up was, I don't have pity for niggas here that say they don't want to work. Like, it's fucking 4-year-olds getting raped every day in like some crazy, in Africa somewhere, because these niggas think it cure AIDS. Like, I don't know how to feel sorry for him here not wanting to do shit when that's happening to a fucking 4-year-old. But at the same time, he don't know nothing about that. And maybe if I told him, he probably wouldn't even give a fuck. He probably wouldn't even care.
And people love to say that's not my problem.
Right.
Like, if you really truly think of people. So people in poverty and people who already have their own struggles, they try not to tack on anybody else's struggles.
Yeah.
So the moment you tell them about whatever's happened with their grandma, mind you, and it's not overseas. Like, it's not something that's happening in a third world country, but it's something that's happening that's worse than your situation. You tend to not know how to sympathize. You tend to not know how to empathize with people. Your empathy level is like, it's gone. Like, you don't have it.
It's like non-existent,
right?
almost.
Because that is not going to help me with my situation. So being sad about whatever's happening with your grandmother or whatever happening with those children over here in this third world country, that ain't going to help me propel. That's gonna depress me. Yeah. That's going to make me sadder. That's going to make me that's going to make me think that nothing in this world is worth it. If something that bad can happen, I don't want to. What am I doing? What am I really living for? You know what I'm saying? So, I honestly feel like conversation changed perspective, like we always say,
like to the umpteenth power.
Yeah,
just speaking to somebody from a different culture, a different age. Somebody, me and Carl, the same age, just talking to somebody different. Like, and I want to tell you that you do a lot of nonsense on your page, and I listen to it. I'm like, Carl is aggravating, but I said it to you. It's probably a year ago or maybe 2 years ago now. You said, I think it was about ROAs or something like that. And I was just like, I had no idea you even knew about shit like this. And you were just like, yeah, try to drop gems when I can or something to that effect. And it is a really good feeling to have someone come back to you and say something to that effect. Like, oh, well, you mentioned this one time. My cousin who does my nails, she follows Micah's stuff. And so she was like, your friend posted a book that I wanted to read or something like that. And I was like, yeah. And she went and found the name of the book and showed it to me.
The Millionaire Booklet, by the way.
Right. And she showed it to me. And I have people come to me all the time asking me to be.
Grant Cardone. What is it? My dog.
That's how I found out about Grant. I was working in sales, and I'm like, yo, I need to do something. Like, I'm big on YouTube University. I learn everything on there.
Right.
And
So-
that's the Millionaire whatever book.
Millionaire booklet.
And I
Trying
went
to
there.
make
I'm
it
like,
nice.
I'm just looking for sales videos, and I landed on Grant. And just off the free, because I never paid for his programs.
Yeah.
Just off the free stuff alone,
Yeah.
within a week, I doubled my sales at my job.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, fuck it. I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
because
yeah.
you didn't even know who he was, but because what he said made sense, the way he said it, you listened and you took action. So a lot of these people who are in marketing and sales, that was like, yeah, people come to my seminars all the time. Some people leave prosperous. Other people say it didn't work. You didn't do the work.
Yeah.
You can't just get all this information and not use it. Like, knowledge is power, but action without, like, I don't get it.
Knowledge without
Well,
action.
Knowledge without
Yeah,
action. Like,
knowledge without
what are you
action.
really doing? Like, are you
Yeah.
propelling yourself forward? Like, hell, you just sat through a 4-hour seminar and did nothing after? Like, nothing. Not even change your Instagram name to brand yourself. Like, very small things. Like, across the board, we learn about branding. Leah literally has an email, a website, Instagram, Facebook, same name, because branding is important.
It's very
Of course.
important.
If you choose to have everything different, that's on your ass. We just told you the statistic behind having your name the same on 4 platforms. But these people, they listen to these people. They pay $5,000, bro. They pay $5,000 to sit in seminars with these people, and then say it was
And
a
don't
waste of
even
money.
take notes.
You don't
weren't even
take
taking
action. You're the problem, not them. So I don't think anything is a scam. I think everything works to a certain degree.
Yeah.
If you're willing to do as much work as they did to give you the knowledge that they
Right.
gave you. Like, let's just be real. I did the steps. I did the hard work. Nigga, I'm giving you the blueprint and you're not following it?
I feel like when I see people doing seminars and random stuff like that, I get some type of weird negative connotation to it, and I'm not sure what it is.
Because it's scammy.
Like, yeah, maybe.
Seminar?
Yeah, like any type of seminar, any type
Webinars,
of whatever.
anything online.
anything, right? And I get a little scammy vibe from it, or I don't know if it's. I guess it is scammy, but it's a weird feeling, and I'm not hyped to do it. It was like I've literally signed up for the guy who started FUBU. Oh my gosh, what's his name? Derek? No.
I know you're talking.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He's on Shark Tank too. Love him to death. And he has free seminars here like every couple months. And I sign up for them and never end up going. But I was like, okay, his is free. And this man is wealthy enough to be able to go on seminar or go on Shark Tank and fund multiple businesses if he feels like it. And do you know, like him and Irv Gotti and like 2 other guys were like best friends. Like literally, let's say the 3 of us met up and said, yo, I'm about to be a fashion designer. And one was like, I'm about to be a drug dealer. He's in prison right now. And then one time I'm about to be the biggest music producer. That's Irv Gotti. And Irv, this is Ja Rule, Ashanti, Lloyd, all that shit. He had his face, right? And this is FUBU. FUBU had his face too. And there was other guy that's like, I don't know what
Damon,
right.
yeah.
And they literally sat there and just had a conversation, and these men really became what the fuck they wanted to become. The drug dealer did become a pretty big drug dealer and got locked the fuck up, but you know he did it, and it's like
they did the work.
He succeeded. It's like
he did succeed technically.
They did the work though. That's the thing.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I think you have to. This all went back to me saying you drop the little gems that you drop. You'd be surprised at who actually listens. Like I was surprised my cousin was listening. She comes and she told me like, yeah, your friend put up a book, whatever. And then even with Carlem, I've known Carlem longer than I know you. And I saw Carlem do that. I had no idea Carlem even knew that. But all I thought to me was, oh yes, a black man that got sense.
Yeah.
And to me, that's where I'm at with my extension of how I can help. Who wants to help? If you want the help, then hit me up. I've had multiple women and at least 2 guys come to me and be like, okay, well, I want to start this. How do I start it? And mind you, I don't know anything about clothing. Me and Nicole doesn't sell clothes. We sell hats, right? Yeah. But I tell them what you got to do. And I'm like, it's not rocket science, but it does require a lot of work. You need to research what you have. My company is a legal company. It's LLC. So I tell them you got to make sure you don't need a permit for this. Make sure you don't need this type of seller's license. Make sure you get your tax ID. Like these things. And I sat there and explained the whole thing to them. And they wanted the information. So they took it and it worked out for them. If Lil Boo from the hood came and had a couple questions,
you gonna drop knowledge.
I'm gonna drop knowledge.
I feel like people who want something bad enough, they'll seek it.
In all facets of life.
Same thing I talked about with the little kid. Like she had a problem. I said adults handled it by talking. We talk through our problems. That's what adults do. I talked to an 11-year-old like she was an adult. This is what we do. We talk through our stuff. I don't got no problem. Cool. I'm gone. But she still came back to me because she wanted to seek more.
Yeah, she wanted more.
So it doesn't even matter the age. It doesn't matter the capacity of learning. When people want something, they go get it. You know, they try to figure out how to understand it. They ask the right questions.
And that's the power of kindness. It's like a lot of times,
yes,
you make her feel bad. You make her feel bad. It's like, okay, like, I'll give you an example. Like Spirit, I hate Spirit.
Who does?
I travel. Like I'm gonna be at an airport at least once or twice a month, right? And whenever I try my best not to fly with Spirit, but sometimes they just have the best price.
You can't beat it with a bet.
So whenever I'm going to Spirit, because my thing is the bags. I'm always gonna have 2 bags. And I don't want to pay for them.
Agreed.
So I'm already mentally preparing myself to go. Let them have it because somebody's gonna tell me something about my bag. But once in a while, you'll catch somebody. They're just so nice. I'm like, oh,
you catch a Micah.
You out.
You'll catch a
Micah. You catch a Micah.
Yeah.
So it's like you're that polite. So it's like, damn. She's looking at it like, damn. The same anger that she had towards her mom, she was ready to unleash it on you.
Right.
So it's like, damn, I can't even do that to
It
her.
got nothing to do with me.
That's nice.
So she don't have no choice but
come correct.
to talk to you.
Yeah, it's the
So,
correct.
and then another thing about what you guys are saying about you can't deal with the ignorant. Now, the ignorant are ignorant, and it's very hard to talk to. It's very hard to reason because there's no such thing as reason. It's like everything I know is right, and what my grandma told me is correct. So, all of that goes back. We already know how our culture is, but what I will say is when you actually have a conversation with the ignorant and you are taking yourself out of yourself, right? So now I'm no longer a privileged islander. I'm no longer someone who saw my mother go through hell to get to where she is. I'm no longer my parents who migrated over here to basically make a better life. When you take yourself out of that and you just become a basic human being trying to at least understand, and then it's like, you know what? I'm aggravated AF with you right now. I'm so aggravated, but because the knowledge that I know, I can impart something. So you're going to say something that may trigger something. And be like, you know what? If they say, well, yeah, like kind of what Manny tried to do. You know, work at McDonald's. Like, nah, bro, I'm just going to rob a nigga. Okay, and then you go to jail, and then what? Like, sometimes you got to be straight. Like, you're going to go to jail, then what?
Right, he said it. And
Yeah.
he's like, man, like, from what Manny told me, there wasn't really a rebuttal to that.
Right.
It was more so on the lines of, bro, like, I won't get caught or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he has that.
But
mindset.
remember, the fact
he's
that
a ninja.
the fact
Right.
that Manny said you're going to jail and then
Yeah.
what? You think you didn't make a difference, but you did.
Yeah.
Small things like that replay in people's heads because they know the consequences of something, right? So although I'm not trying to hear you, yeah, shut up, like, but what I just said made sense, and you can't deny that it didn't.
All right, everybody. So that was another episode of Let Us Say It For You. Thanks so much, Carlem. Thanks so much, Beth. I appreciate you guys.
And we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. All right, bye.